You're tuned in to the Ross Tucker Football Podcast, guiding your gridiron journey, none other than your host, former NFL lineman, Ross Tucker.
Oh, yeah, it is. But it's not just any Ross Tucker Football Podcast. It is a Finish Strong Friday, of course, presented by DraftKings, that we are recording late on a Thursday night after the game because I'm out in Arizona. So we want to make sure that you guys have this bright and early Friday morning, even our folks across the pond. It's also a Winners Friday. We are, of course, always presented by DraftKings. Spread the word, winner. I told you guys it would be a Facebook review. I never tell a lie. Facebook.com. Well, I'm Facebook.com/Ross Tucker NFL, but this was for Ross Tucker Pod on Facebook. Rick Snoddy? I don't know, Rick. It's Snodie, but you're the winner. Send me an email, ross@rosstucker.com, so I know your address. I'll send you one of these awesome press passes I've been picking up every week. Love getting these in your hands because they're really cool. I mean, you've probably never seen them before. You definitely don't know anybody that has one. So I want to get them to you guys. Just like Michael Solello, who used our code to buy some Raycon earbuds. I was rocking the Raycon earbuds on the plane on the way out here. Love me some Raycon earbuds. You know, I see these other things that people have, like the white things that stick out of their ear. I don't get it. I'm Raycon for life. And then the YouTube shout out. Stephen Benjamin had a YouTube comment. It's that easy. You go to youtube.com/Ross Tucker NFL and you subscribe, and then you just make any comment, any video. You can literally say, Ross, I just want the shout out video. I'm just trying to be the shout out winner because I want a video for my son or my wife or my fantasy dudes, whatever. Speaking of shout outs, how about John Polonice? I think that's the way to say it. Polinice, our latest patron. I think a lot of them obviously just love getting the even money betting spreadsheet, which we post on our private Slack channel, but hopefully they'll check out some of the other threads and chime in with the crew. We got an awesome group of folks that I love interacting with on our private Slack channel, patreon.com/RT Media. It's Big Show time.
The Big Show.
All right, Ross, we'll talk about the Bucs. They almost pulled it off, but Bills were able to hold on and beat Tampa Bay 24-18.
Kind of a weird game, right? I mean, early on, the Bills were dominating, but they kept getting stalled out in the red zone. Finally, I think Josh Allen was just like, the heck with it. I'm just going to take it myself. He ran more than he had been running in recent weeks and got that first touchdown. So they're up 10-0, but then the Bucs get a long field goal. Antoine Winfield Jr., I played with his dad for the Bills 20 years ago, which makes me feel old. Maybe pound for pound the best player I ever played with, or certainly the best hitter I've ever played with. At like $180, he was unbelievable. Anyway, he tips the ball. Next thing you know, it's 10-10. And it's like, okay, here we go. But the Bills were the better team. You know, Allen moves him down the field right away again, throws the touchdown pass to Kincaid, who had a nice night. And then in the second half, the Bills get the ball. They go up 24-10. It wasn't a ton of digs. It was a lot of Shakir, Gabe Davis, Dalton Kincaid. Allen throws it to him. But the Bucs don't give up. They have the longest, weirdest drive I've ever seen in the fourth quarter. It was like 9 minutes long. They converted a bunch of fourth downs by penalty. They finally get a touchdown. And then the Bills get a first down, have to punt it away. And then, you know, it just happened, this Hail Mary. Clearly the Bills were told to play the man, not the ball. It was like they were boxing out in junior high basketball, and the coach says the ball has to hit the floor. I mean, when's the last time you saw a Hail Mary and nobody got a hand on it? It's the second time, by the way, in 3 weeks the Bills won a home game on what could have been pass interference on the last play in the end zone. Absolutely wild. Speaking of games, Jack, if you're an NBA fan, the wait's over. Basketball's back, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, well, they're celebrating with an unbeatable offer. New customers can score $200 instantly in bonus bets for throwing five on it. Throw down $5 on the NBA. Win or lose, doesn't matter. You'll start the season with an instant dub. And with DraftKings parlays, everyone's got a shot at even bigger basketball wins. String together multiple bets from the same game or build your parlay across multiple games for a shot at making your payday even sweeter. Basketball is more fun when you're in on the action. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code Ross. New customers can get $200 in bonus bets instantly for betting just $5. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code Ross. The crown is yours.
Want to know which team is going to win every single game on Sunday? Then listen up.
All right, Ross, we'll start the battle of the top two picks. The Houston Texans are at the Carolina Panthers.
Boy, this is one. I know that the Panthers are desperate for a win, period. But, man, they probably really want to win this game. It's a bad look, right? If you go to 0-7 at home and the quarterback you could have drafted gets his team to 4-3 and very much in the postseason mix, I mean, I am, because of that, Jack, I'm very tempted to take Carolina. Like, very. But especially coming off the bye, I'm not going to do it because I got to go based on what I've seen so far this year. But this feels like an upset for Carolina. This feels like a great opportunity. But I got to go by what I've seen from these teams playing football. And Stroud's been a lot better than Young, and the Texans have been a lot better than the Panthers. So I'll go 20-17. The Houston Texans get another win.
Next, we've got the Los Angeles Rams are at the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, they are. I like the Cowboys. Rams coming into this one pretty beat up. McVay just had his baby, a son. Congratulations to him. That's awesome. You know, that is poor timing. Like, let's just be honest. I mean, coaches during the season, they're working like minimum 18-hour days probably. Definitely 16, right? To not be able to spend the time with your newborn or your wife. Like, Sean, I know these things happen, but how about planning for the off season, bro? So that, you know, you're not conflicted with whether to be in the hospital with your newborn versus studying for the freaking Dallas Cowboys. I like the Cowboys. They looked good in their last game, I thought, against the Chargers. Certainly Dak and company did. And the Rams, they just don't really have the horses, you know? I'll go Cowboys 23, Rams 16.
Next, we got an NFC North matchup. The Minnesota Vikings are at the Green Bay Packers.
The Minnesota Vikings, this is a tough one because I kind of expect the Packers to bounce back from that really poor performance against the Broncos. And I expect the Vikings, short week, on the road. Everybody's telling them how great they are because they beat the Niners. Prime for a little bit of a letdown. This is kind of like that Carolina-Houston game, Jack, where all of my gut instinct tells me the Packers win this game. But also watching these teams play recently, it's really hard to do that. It's really hard to pick the team to win the game that is clearly not playing as well and doesn't seem to be as good as the other one. So I'll similarly, this will be like the Broncos game, I think. 19-16, Vikings beat the Packers.
Next, we've got New Orleans Saints are at the Indianapolis Colts.
The Saints are one of the more disappointing teams to me this year because they should be better than this. And I would say the Colts are probably one of the more surprisingly positive teams this year because I thought they might struggle, and even they lose Richardson. But that's the value of having a legit backup like Minshew. I'm going to take the Colts to win the game at home. I think it's kind of a toss-up game. The Colts are actually 1-point underdogs at home. So I guess we can go with the underdog sounder there. I know we don't have the doggies anymore, Jack, but we can go with the underdog sounder for the Colts 24-23. This would be a bad loss for the Saints, really bad. These are two teams, man, they're both 3-4. Big difference between being 3-4, between being 3-5 and 4-4. Huge difference.
Ross's Underdog of the Week.
Next, we've got the AFC with the New England Patriots, Miami Dolphins. AFC East, my apologies.
Yeah, I like the Dolphins. I mean, not their best performance against the Eagles Sunday night. I would say there's sort of no shame in that. Eagles have a really good team, obviously, and they were coming off a loss themselves. Dolphins are a little bit banged up for this one. If we'll be singing a very different tune next week about both these teams if somehow the Dolphins lost and the Patriots won back-to-back games. I don't see that happening, although I thought Greg made a good point on Thursday's show when he talked about the Patriots had a pretty good plan for the Dolphins. I don't know that it'll be good enough. Dolphins get this dub. I don't think they'll score a ton of points, though. I think it'll be like the last time. I think it'll be like 24-20. Miami Dolphins get the win.
Next, we've got the battle for New York, Jets at Giants. Well, theoretically, at Giants.
Why do you say theoretically?
Well, they're not the wrong word, but I mean, that's a home game for both these teams, outside of like locker room placements and
I always
sidelines.
wonder. Well, they both have their own locker rooms anyway. So they both just go in their normal locker room. There's a Jets locker room, there's a Giants locker room, and there's an away team locker room.
Okay.
You know, they're not, because you don't want to be switching that out every week, you know?
Yeah, fair.
I'm always curious. Like, I'll be curious to see how many Jets fans are at this game. Like, I would legitimately tune in to watch that aspect of it because that means how many Giants fans sold their tickets, how many Jets fans are so excited about what they've got going on. If you're a Jets fan, you want this to be an away game because it's like you get an extra home game that you can go to each season. You know, both these teams have been, the Jets won a couple games in a row, then they had the bye. The Giants have been playing better. I like a low-scoring game in this one. I mean, that's what it feels like to me. Very low-scoring. I guess I'll take the Jets coming off the bye, a little bit rested. But I think this is like field goal fest. Let's go 13-10, something like that. 13-10 Jets. Not going to be very exciting with the scoring, so make sure you have some Labatt Blue Lights with your friends in the stands. Live life to the power of we. Always enjoy responsibly. Beer, Labatt USA, Buffalo, New York. And by the way, while you're having those beers, make sure you've got some delicious food to eat. Just like the clock will stop on this podcast in like 10 minutes, whenever the game clock stops, that's time to order in with DoorDash. Pizza cravings hit at halftime, ordering time. Dreaming about tacos during a timeout, boom, they're on your doorstep. Wait, you want burgers, chips, dips, drinks, and wings instead? Even better. Order on DoorDash and get everything you want delivered without missing a minute of the game.
Next, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're at the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Good game. I think this is an Iron Eagle, Charles Davis special. Really good game for a couple of teams. I mean, look at them. 5-2 are the Jags. 4-2 are the Steelers. I actually got the Steelers next week, Jack, on the radio Thursday night, hosting the Tennessee Titans. I would expect no Tannehill for that one since it's a Thursday night game. So maybe that'll be Levis's second start in that game. I'm taking the Jags. I know the Steelers somehow, some way, find a way to win all these close games, but the Jags are looking really good. I'll take the better quarterback. I'll take the better team. I'll take the more rested team. Jags played on Thursday night, so they've had a little extra time to rest, prepare for this one. Should be a close game. You know why? Because every Steelers game ever is a close game. But I'm going to pick the Steelers to actually not get it done late for once. 23-17 Jags.
The Houston Oilers are back, and they're hosting the Atlanta Falcons this week.
What do you like better, Jack? The Kelly Greens or the Houston Oilers unis?
Houston Oilers. They're my two favorite of all time, but I mean my favorite of I love when Houston had the baby blue helmets in the 60s. Those are my favorite helmets.
How
But
do you know about the Houston Oilers baby blue helmets in the 60s?
well, I love jerseys and they're also in Madden and then my favorite childhood game of all time, ESPN NFL 2K5.
You know what? I called a game once where the Titans were in those uniforms. Like throwback.
Okay.
I think they had those blue helmets on. Long time ago, I think like in the snow maybe against the Patriots. I think I called a game where they wore those old school helmets. I think it's weird though that a team in Tennessee is wearing the Houston throwback. I get it's the same franchise, but stylistically that bothers me a little bit. I'll take the Falcons. I mean, I'm not picking Will Levis to win his first start. You know, the Titans just it's not good for the Titans. I mean, they just traded Kevin Byard, you know, one of their two leaders on defense, along with Jeffrey Simmons. Those guys are all wondering if they're going to be the next guy to get traded. The Falcons are a very consistently solid team. I think they'll have, look, that'd be very impressive. Sometimes these rookie quarterbacks, the coaches pare down the game plan so much that they allow the rookie quarterbacks to be effective and win the game, but I don't know. I'm not taking Will Levis in his first start. Especially they're going to play multiple quarterbacks. That does not sound like a recipe for success. No thanks. Give me the Falcons on the road. I'll say they don't put up that many points with Ritter, and the defense of the Titans is pretty good. This is another, I'm going 1916 again, Jack. 1916.
Next we got NFC East battle. The Eagles are at the Commanders.
Why do the Commanders always play the Eagles so tough? Why does that always happen? And they either beat them or they almost beat them. It's never like the Eagles just take care of business like they do against the Giants or whatever, or they do it against a lot of these teams. I don't expect any different. I mean, you know, I do those Ross reports now every morning on social media at Ross Tucker NFL that if you're an Eagles fan, you can check out, just because I'm so tied in with the Eagles with the other stuff I do and the pregame show and stuff. So I do those Ross reports, and Eagles coming off a big win Sunday night. And the Commanders, Jonathan Allen, after that Giants loss, he was not happy, to say the least. I think this is going to be a barn burner. I'll take the Eagles late, but it feels like 23-20, maybe 24-23. Hal and the Commanders looked really good against the Eagles last time.
Got the Trent Dilfer Bowl. The Browns are at the Seahawks.
Trent Dilfer with the Browns?
He was there for a year. It was like the end of his career.
It's so funny to me how you call these like Trent Dilfer Bowl. That should be the Seneca Wallace Bowl. Seneca Wallace played for a while for the Seahawks and Browns, I feel like. That would be a fun game, actually, for each one of these games. It's like Immaculate Grid. You know, it's like that thing. I'm taking the Seahawks. They're at home, and we know that Geno Smith is out again. Just a weird situation. I mean, Kevin Stefanski said after the Colts game that Geno Smith would start this week, and now he's not. At a minimum, something weird's going on in Cleveland, and the messaging has been bad. Seattle's a pretty consistent bunch. I like them to get this done. Cleveland's defense is good. 20-17, 20-16, something like that. Seahawks.
A game you might know a thing or two about. The Ravens are at the Arizona Cardinals.
Right, and I guess this is a pretty good option for some people for the lock of the week or the survivor pick, just because I think the Cardinals have to check, but I think they've lost 4, definitely 3 games in a row by double digits. They hang, man. Jack, they hang in the first half. A lot of times they have the lead in the first half, but it's just like they don't have the depth or they can't sustain it in the second half. Curious to talk to them if there's any rhyme or reason to that in their mind. I'll take the Ravens to win the game. I think it'll be closer, though, than people are expecting, because that's the way the NFL works, and the Ravens coming off maybe the best performance of any team all season against the Lions based on the statistics of that game and the quality of opponent. Let's go Ravens, not as sharp offensively. Let's go Ravens 23-13 over the Cardinals.
Another divisional rivalry that's always closer than it needs to be. The Chiefs are at the Broncos.
Is it always closer?
They've been like one-score games, it feels like. I mean, I feel like this year was like when they played earlier, it was like a 10-point game. But for the last 2 years, it seems like they always play close.
Yeah, but the Chiefs have beaten them like 16 or 17 times in a row, right?
Yeah, but like I'm looking here. 19-8, 27-24, 34-28, 28-24, 22-9, 22-16. Like they're all one-score games almost.
By the way, Jack, I was curious, so I checked it out on the Game Time app. You can get in the cheapest price now for my Ravens-Cardinals game at State Farm Stadium. State Farm is $27. There's other tickets for $36, $39. But wait, I can get you $20 off. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code ROSS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. So again, create an account, redeem code ROSS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. I love the guarantee, and I love that you can see exactly what the vantage point is like from your seats. I'll take Kansas City, another pretty good lock, I would say, Jack. The Broncos defense is playing better, though. 24-17 Chiefs.
Cincinnati Bengals are at the San Francisco 49ers.
Don't you just feel like Darnold's going to come out and play well? I do. I think Darnold's going to come out and play well. I would not be surprised at all if the Niners win this game. But because sometimes also I feel like teams let their guard down a little bit if the starter doesn't play. And we think it'll be Darnold in this game. I'm going to take the Bengals. I'm not picking Darnold to beat Joe Burrow. I'm not doing that. Not going to do it. 20-17, the Bengals win.
Chicago Bears are at the Los Angeles Chargers.
Bagent time. Cannot wait to watch him. Bagent in prime time. NBC is going to have so much information on this kid and Shepherd College or Shepherd University in West Virginia and his dad and the tattoos and working out like Rocky. It is going to be a full-on Bagent fest. Gosh, I hope he kills it. I hope he's awesome again. So fun to me when undrafted guys or guys from out of nowhere play well. I'm not picking them to win the game, though. I'm not picking them. I mean, can you imagine? I mean, if the Chargers lose this one, they might fire Brandon Staley right after the game. That might just be it for him. If the Chargers lose this one, I don't think they will. Chargers 27, Bears 17.
We'll wrap things up. The Raiders are at the Detroit Lions.
The Raiders. Well, the Lions are going to bounce back. That was a bad loss. That was a humbling loss to Baltimore, but it was only one loss. And now they come home, and they're playing a Monday night game at home. When's the last time the Detroit Lions had a home Monday night game? That, never, ever happens. Or at a minimum, very rarely. So, yeah, man, I'm all over the Lions in this one to take care of business, get it done against the Raiders. I just don't think the Raiders are very good. I think it's actually wild to me that the Raiders actually have 3 wins right now. Lions, this is another one I would lock up. Is this like three of the last 4 games, Jack, are good games to lock up? The Lions are not losing this football game. That's not happening. I think they'll put up like 27, maybe. 27-17. Lions beat the Raiders by 10. Have an awesome, awesome weekend, everybody. Please, if you get a chance, whether it's the Red Zone or if you guys subscribe to YouTube, love those of you that check me out on this Ravens-Cardinals game, my second NFL game this year. Big fan of the screenshots at the start of the game when I'm on camera for 2 minutes, right at 4:25 p.m. Eastern time. Take a screenshot or just take a picture with your phone. Tag me on social media. Love that. Feel free to tweet during the game that I'm the greatest color commentator you've ever heard in the history of the world. I won't tell anybody I told you to say that. It's amazing. Should be a lot of fun. Always love doing NFL games on TV. Cool opportunity. Other than that, I think we're done here.
Thanks for tuning in to the Ross Tucker Football Podcast. Make sure to also check out Even Money, Fantasy Feast, and College Draft, all on the DraftKings Network, YouTube, or subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platform.
Shout out to myfrontpagestory.com. We're less than 2 months away from the holidays. Now's the time to order your gift for your loved one. How great would you feel if you just got it done now, got it out of the way? myfrontpagestory.com. Pizza Boy Brewing, Sporticulture, HumanHeadNYC.com, SteakhouseSports.com, Go-Bengals.com, BackOfficeScheduler.com.